12 still missing after Niger boat mishap as search and rescue operation continues. At least 4 dead, over 70 hospitalized in Ibadan explosion. Demolition looms as FCTA threatens action on illegal settlement, shanties. And finally, on the international scene, aid headed into Gaza after Israel-Hamas seal first deal since truce ended. Welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for joining. Many thanks for joining us once again. 12 people are still missing after the Monday's boat mishap in Burgu local government of Niger State. The Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Ara, who confirmed this to Trust TV, said, aside the 3 males and 5 females that lost their lives, the remaining victims were rescued by the search and rescue team. According to Baba Ara, the 100-passenger capacity boat, which was heading to Wara Market in Kebbi State, was overloaded with people and goods, adding that the mishap was caused by strong waves and overloading. He gave names of those that were still missing as Saminu Hamidu, Aisha Usman, Hauzi Hamidu, Zaida Muhammad, and Fatima Ibrahim. Others were Hajara Al-Haji Kabiru, Hawa Ubala, Bello Ibrahim, Arisa Al-Haji Aliyu, Amina Ibrahim, Azima Usman, and Happy Ibrahim. Sources say boat mishaps are frequent occurrences, especially during the Harmattan. Also, many people were feared injured and houses destroyed as explosion rocked Reverend Adiriola Street off Adeyi Street, Old Bodija Estate, Ibadan, on Tuesday night. The explosion, which occurred around 7 p.m., affected many buildings in the estate. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde assured residents of safety as the state government foots the bill of affected victims of the blast. The governor made the assurance when he visited the scene of the explosion at Bodija, which resulted in deaths, injuries, and damage of about 30 structures, including the houses of former Governor Bola Ige, ex-Governor Iyuola Oladokun, and some staff of the University of Ibadan, shopping malls and hotels in the area on Tuesday night. And joining us via Zoom, we have journalist David Bello joining us to give more updates on the situation. David, welcome to the news update. What has been the situation since the last time we spoke? How far with the rescue operation so far?
All right, good evening. David Bello is right live here all the way from Ibadan. Now, I can reliably confirm to you that since the last time we spoke, rescue operations seem to have continued and have progressed. But thus far, since before we left there, no record of a victim was made. But then again, at some point, the governor came to empathize with sympathizers and also show concern. And while he was speaking and trying to calm frayed nerves, one of the structure collapsed. And that called to a point. The appeal that repeatedly to people, especially sympathizers, empathizers that have been thrown in the scene, that scene is still a sensitive place. It has been cordoned off. Now, immediately after that, we had a press conference at the governor's office where the governor gave out some action plan. And part of the action plan was a stern warning that everybody, both our structure owners, both our sympathizers, both our residents, and whoever they may be, they should all vacate that environment. Because structures there, even the ones that are currently still standing, they would have to undergo integrity tests for them to ascertain if people can truly go in there. So he cautioned especially property owners not to be tempted to go back into their properties with attempts to want to pick 1 or 2 valuables. He also cautioned that especially those that would want to nurse any criminal mind in an attempt to want to either steal properties of some of the victims, that the police would decisively deal with them. He also told us about the fact that there is already a sufficient database and as such, they can separate some of the hoodlums that would want to attempt to steal properties and the original occupants of that estate or
All
that
right, David.
street. And
Yes.
reliably now, also, we have been told that adequate arrangement with hotels and some of the rest rooms around to accommodate on government accounts and finances some of these displaced people for now. As you can see, I am not reporting
David,
from the side.
If you're with me, I understand the need for security, especially around the area where the explosion happened. Yes, but then again, are we still sticking to what the governor said earlier with regards to the cause of the explosion? That is the activities of illegal miners. Has there been any statement from, say, the police since the unfortunate incident happened yesterday night?
Now, interestingly, there was an update today during the governor's press conference. He said emphatically that apart from the fact that it was occupants that were into illegal mining, that they have also uncovered the company that owns the property there. The property was owned by a company that rented the property for or bought the property over as a residential, while some of the occupants started stockpiling explosive. So that narrative still stands that the explosion was due to activities of illegal miners and stockpiling of explosive in residential quarters.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, David. However, let's talk about the unfortunate victims of this explosion now. We understand that around 70 persons were hospitalized following the unfortunate incident on Tuesday night. However, what do we know about the condition or their state currently? Are they responding to treatment or have we recorded any fatalities? Let's hope that we've not.
No, according to the official record of the governor, those rescued, the statistic, the data now stands at 78, 77, 78, because it was 77 yesterday, and one was rescued alive today, making 78, while one of the bodies from the rubble was recovered also. So those that are currently being hospitalized are presently in about 4 or 5 hospitals across the state. Now, the directive from the governor today is that they are going to harmonize the hospitals and leave it to 3 hospitals and just 3 private hospitals and 1 government hospital. And then they can pay adequate attention to them. So as it stands, some of them are recuperating well. And according to the governor, they have not recorded, or we have not recorded, as he said, any casualty with regards to those in the hospital.
All right, then thank you very much for the update, David Bello. I know it's been quite a stressful day for you, especially because of the activities going on site there in Bodija. Please do stay safe, and of course, we'll touch base with you subsequently to get more updates as they unfold.
Thank you.
Moving on now, lawmaker representing Ibadan Northwest Southwest Federal Constituency of Oyo State, Stanley Olajide, has corroborated the statement made by Governor Seyi Makinde that the Ibadan explosion was caused by activities of illegal miners in the state. The lawmaker, who is therefore calling for a thorough investigation into the incident, has also confirmed that victims are already receiving treatment at various hospitals in Ibadan. Here's the report.
The city of Ibadan was rocked by an explosion on Tuesday, with residents scampering for safety. On Wednesday morning, the state governor Seyi Makinde allayed fears in many quarters that it was a bomb blast, as he announces that the explosion was caused by activities of illegal miners in Oyo State. This position was corroborated by the federal lawmaker representing Ibadan Northwest Southwest Federal Constituency, Stanley Olajide, while briefing journalists in his office.
You can be rest assured that we are going to look, all hands will be on deck. Part of my report to the speaker will also to recommend some of the short-term and long-term suggestion in how we are going to tackle this. We're in the preliminary stages. I don't want us to put the cart before the horse. We are going to unravel so many things. There could be even more to all of this. So let's not act as if we know all the details yet, But based on the information we know today, we know that we have a lot of work to do.
The lawmaker also commended the quick response of first responders like the Nigerian Police, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Nigeria Fire Service.
Community policing is actually one of the smartest way to police your people. Somebody sees something, somebody knows something, they need to speak at the right time. Failure to do so will cause situations like this.
His colleague in the National Assembly also called for the regulation of illegal mining in the state and other parts of the country. Though the death toll of the incident is still unconfirmed, victims from the explosion are receiving treatment at various hospitals across Ibadan.
I just want to further reiterate the position of my colleague that there is need for physical federalism, and that can lead us quickly to having state police. I believe that the president that we have has campaigned based on these promises, and I think and I know that is going to work with the National Assembly to ensure that we have state police.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the House of Representatives has unveiled plans to commence an investigative hearing on the alleged mismanagement of COVID-19 intervention funds expended between 2020 and 2022. Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Aking Rotimi, gave the hint via a statement made available to parliamentary correspondents. In a communication on the hearing, the chairman of the House Public Accounts Committee, Bamidele Salam, informed that 59 ministries, departments, and agencies of government, as well as parastatals, have been issued notices to appear before the committee based on a schedule of appearance previously made public.
And the federal government says it has put logistics in place to address the rising insecurity in the nation's capital, Abuja. The FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, disclosed this at a town hall meeting convened to seek measures towards addressing the menace. Trust TV's Habiba Ajayi has the details.
The town hall meeting was, among other things, facilitated the interaction between the FCT Minister, residents of Buhari Area Council, community leaders, and heads of security agencies. Concerns were raised by Buhari residents regarding the escalating incidents of kidnapping and banditry in adjoining communities, prompting a call for increased security in the area.
Buhari Area Council is the closest area council to the city. Buhari Area Council, we are having three boundaries of state. Niger State and Kaduna State and Nasarawa State. Because of the inflow of human.
This sad incident was closely followed by another attack on Padangwari village, where kidnappers abducted some villagers and the district head of the village. And most recently, kidnappers launched another ferocious attack on Kau village, during which they injured a number of persons and kidnapped some people.
The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike acknowledged the escalation of banditry in the nation's capital and vowed to make the FCT unsafe for such criminal elements.
Mr. President has given me an approval to provide every logistics required to the security agencies. We'll make it hot for them. All we require from you is their support. Everybody has a role to play.
However, he urged stakeholders to remain vigilant and actively contribute to addressing the prevailing insecurity in the FCT. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And hearing in a bank robbery case which happened in Offa resumed today before Justice Halimat Salman of the Kwara High Court. Ayobade Akinibosun and 4 others are currently standing trial in the case, which began on the 11th of November 2018. Here's the report.
On the 5th of April 2018, some suspected armed robbers robbed 5 commercial banks in Kwara State, killing over 30 persons in the process, including policemen. Some suspects, Michael Atiku, Ayobade, Akinibosun, Aziz Alauddin, Niyi Ogundiran, Ibikunle Ogunleye, and Adeola Abraham were arrested in connection with the robbery. While Michael Atiku died in police custody, the remaining 5 pleaded not guilty. At the resumed hearing today, the 5th defendant, Niyi Ogundiran, and the 3rd defendant, Adeola Abraham, were examined and cross-examined by the defense counsel Matthias Emeribe and prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacob, senior advocate of Nigeria.
Well, it's not the fault of the court. It's not the fault. Like my law was taken to election tribunal for 1 year, so that delayed the hearing. There are a lot of other things, strike and all the rest. Nobody like it. That's why we devoted 3 days that we should be able to conclude it this time around. We expect to finish it by Thursday.
Is there any way the testimony that the defendant and perhaps the witnesses have given in respect of this matter can be cut short or discarded, particularly in a capital, in an offense that carries capital punishment? That is why the court's duty at all material time is to be sure that they end up making sure that anybody that will be found guilty must be the person who is guilty, not the innocent. And it has always been the principle of law that it is always better for 9 guilty persons to be set free than for 1 innocent person to be condemned. That is why it is not a case where even the court will be in a hurry to deal with.
It is now well over 5 years since the case began, but counsel say there is no cause for alarm as long as justice is served at the end of the day.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Defying stigma and social pressures, ex-convict transforms his life after prison. Of course, this and many more stories after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories again. 12 still missing after Niger boat mishap as search and rescue operation continues. At least 4 dead, over 70 hospitalized in Ibadan explosion. And to more stories now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, says it will remove all illegal settlements and shanties in the nation's capital to curb the rising insecurity in the FCT. As part of the exercise, the Department of Development Control of the FCT has been directed to inform officers to submit a list of all shanties and informal settlements for verification exercise. The department said the goal was to identify and address illegal shanties and informal settlements that may harbor criminal activities. The director of the Department of Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, made this known during the removal of illegal shanties and shops at Durumi 1. He said the move was part of the administration's broader strategy to enhance security and orderly development in the capital city. And men of the Abia State Police Command on Tuesday invaded the television arm of the Abia State Broadcasting Network, ABN, in Umahia and forcefully arrested a guest, Udensi Donald, during a live program. The director, ABN TV Radio, Ifeanyi Okali, made this known in a statement posted on his Facebook page on Wednesday. Okali described the invasion as a provocation against freedom of the press and human rights. According to Okali, the police claimed that a senior brother of the guest, one Uche Onwuka Udensi, had written a petition against him over a family matter. He said despite repeated plea by staff for officers to allow the program to come to an end before the guest could be arrested, they insisted on whisking him away while the live program was on. Okali described the action as provocative and an act of overzealousness by the officers who obviously acted in clear contravention of the rules of engagement. And now, most ex-convicts experience post-release humiliation, stigmatization and harassment, leaving them with little hope for the future. Well, Zakaria, who served a 6-year term at the Billiri Correctional Center, has defied odds, leading an exemplary life after his prison term. Hassan Lawan Kuli reports.
A 27-year-old Zakaria has become a mirror of success, applying skills acquired at Billiri Correctional Center in Gombe State. He now owns a shop crafting shoes and handbags. I developed an interest in this while serving my 6-year term in Billiri Correctional Center. One Christopher Peter always encouraged us to learn a skill, saying it was for free and will help us in the future. You see, I am now enjoying it and earning a living from it. Public humiliation is a common plight for many ex-convicts, and Zakaria pays it too. When I was released, people were mocking me and calling me names. But when they realized I was a responsible person, they started lobbying me to teach their children the skills I have. Concern about former prison mate resorting to crime, Zakaria emphasizes the need for support and empowerment, citing a lack of government assistance. One of my prison mates was in drug abuse after being released, but when he got support from Christopher, he is now doing well. You see, we need empowerment so that we can remain responsible people. But for now, we are getting nothing from the government as a support. Zakaria aspires to further his education to make a greater impact on others' lives one day. His story embodies the saying, when there is a will, there is a way. Hassan Lawan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
And the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday declared null and void the provisions of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code authorizing the National Broadcasting Commission to impose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code. The court also ruled that administrative and regulatory bodies cannot exercise judicial powers, delivering judgment in a suit instituted by Media Rights Agenda against NBC following the Commission's imposition of fines of 5 million naira each on a television station and 3 pay TV platforms in 2022 for allegedly undermining Nigeria's national security by broadcasting documentaries on banditry in Nigeria. Justice Rita Ophelia Jumogobia held that the NBC, not being a court of law, acted above its powers by imposing such fines. And away from Nigeria, humanitarian aid for the besieged Gaza Strip has been shipped under a deal brokered between Israel and Hamas. The aid, which includes medicines for the Israeli captives that Hamas is still holding, was making its way from Egypt on Wednesday. After being flown from France to Qatar, Paris and Doha announced the previous day that they had brokered the first deal between Israel and the Palestinian group since a truce ended on December 1st. More than 100 of the 240 or so captives taken by Hamas during its assault on Israel on October 7 were freed during that week-long pause in fighting, which followed lengthy negotiations mediated by Qatar and the United States. In exchange, Israel released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. However, efforts to return Israel and Hamas to the negotiating table have been faltering since. Israel has said it would not halt its bombardment of Gaza until the captives are all released and Hamas destroyed. But Hamas says it would not release further captives without a full ceasefire. The aid will be delivered to the International Committee of the Red Cross once it crosses the border into Gaza. It will be handed over to Hamas. And in sports, a video of Greek-Nigerian professional basketballer Giannis Antetokounmpo purchasing his own jersey at the market in Lagos has gone viral. The video showed the star buying the counterfeit of his jersey at Balogun Market in Lagos during his 2023 visit to Nigeria. The experience was shared in recently released WhatsApp short documentary titled Ugo, a Homecoming Story that went viral on Wednesday. The clip captures the moment Giannis approached the jersey seller in Balogun Market. Exiting his car, Giannis bargained for the jersey with the trader who was unaware of his identity. In 2023, Giannis Antetokounmpo, raised in Greece, made his first visit to Nigeria alongside his mother, Veronica Antetokounmpo.
I told him, okay, I give you $3 for two. And he was like, no. He was really good. I got to give him respect for that. And this is the crazy part. The guy giving me the jersey had no idea who I was. He knew who Giannis Antetokounmpo was, but he didn't know that was me that he was selling the jersey to, which was that was a even crazier experience.
That wraps up the news update on Trust TV at this hour. The world follows across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs, and documentaries. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.